And Raga, tell us a bit more about your dance form, because you also dance, is it Kuchipudi? Is that
Kuchipudi, yes.
Yeah. And that's a particular South Indian dance form. Tell us a bit about that and how your personal dance story began.
So I dance this dance called Kuchipudi. So it's named after a village called Kuchipudi from Andhra Pradesh. It's a state in the south of India. And my ancestors are from Andhra Pradesh as well. So we have a very close connection with Kuchipudi. It makes me feel like that's my own little dance form. It makes me feel like I really belong to it. But the thing is, I didn't really remember when I first started dancing, but my mom says that I first danced when I was in her tummy and she played music on a fine day.
Brilliant.
Yes, and then at the age of 3, that's when my mom decided to actually professionally train me in Kuchipudi. So she used to travel these long distances in public transport to drop and pick me up from these dance classes. However, the journey was never smooth, especially because I was hyperactive and mischievous as a kid, and I hated being trained in all these dance forms, music and classical dance and things like this. And I think I was always in dance. I changed many dance gurus, but each time I would always be one of the lead performers, especially because I was very unfocused and not really into it. I remember seeing so many people join after me. So there would be so many of my juniors that would pass me, and then they would be in these great songs, and I'd still be in these basic steps, despite learning it for 5-6 years. But I think at some point I started to get a bit more serious, and I remember my first performance. This was when I was in year 3, and I stepped into my own clothes and I fell down from the stage.
Oh no!
I laugh at it now, but it wasn't very pleasant back at that day. But then I think at some point I started to gain a lot more motivation, and I started to really enjoy the dance form. And that's when I started to really dedicate my time to it. And now it's been 16 years of me doing Kuchipudi, and now I'm a little dance teacher and a choreographer, but I'm still continuing to learn. And I think Indian classical dance forms never end. You will just learn it as long as you live. So I'm still learning them, but I'm also trying to put my hands into choreographies and teaching as well. So that's how it's been going.
Oh, fantastic. What a journey, eh? Going from not really liking the dance classes as a kid, your mum almost forcing you to them, to now actually being very much part of the world of dance, right? Amazing.
That's an amazing journey in these last 19 years. So if you've started dancing at 3, I mean, you've been dancing for 16 years. And you mentioned, your mum making those journeys for you. Well, I think that's just such a special bond, because my mum used to, take me to theatre classes every Saturday. And, she even picked up an extra shift so I could go to them. So I just know how much that means. And I think it's something that will just stay for me, forever, parents really, nourishing your efforts and interests. And, do you feel that, young people like yourself have an interest in classical Indian dance, growing up?
To get interest in anything, you must first be exposed, especially to art, because it's really hard to get interest in something that you're disconnected with. Most of my friends, for that matter, they don't really know what I'm dancing to or the music or anything about it. But they still are very accepting and very encouraging. They're always cheering there for me. And apart from that, I think most people that are involved in Indian dance, classical, and it could be music or dance, they're very involved with it. They're very passionate and they're very happy doing it. So that's the great part of it.
Sort of continue this journey. Are you hoping to become a teacher yourself?
So I'm actually a medical student at Imperial, so I'm going to be studying.
Right. Mum and Dad will be pleased.
So I'm on my gap year now, but I had a deferred entry to medicine at Imperial. So that's what I do on a full-time basis.
Do you know that, the dance Natu Natu has a very close association with Ukraine, because it was filmed right outside the presidential palace. Can I ask you a question? You do classical dancing, but were you at any stage kind of, motivated to do something like Natu Natu?
Should I be honest? I'm being super honest. So we had this Indian carnival in Liverpool last night, and I and my sister danced for Natu Natu.
Oh, wow.
We're actually Telugu, which is where RRR is a Telugu film as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a very proud movement for ourselves, for Ukraine, for India and everything, for the Oscars. So we had a great time dancing for it, and we've been practicing a lot for it, leg pain for sure.
Oh, I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
And talking about, dancing, your name is musical. So what's the story behind that?
So my parents are really into art. So they're really into like dancing and music and things like that. So my parents initially thought I would become a really good singer. So I had actually singing classes for the first 5 years of my life. I had like around 5 years from my year 3 to year 8. However, I was really notorious, and I would just, mischief around those the music lessons all day around, and I wouldn't learn. But at some point we had time constraints, and we had to pick one of dance and music, and we went with dance, only because I was like, because I could just move and dance, and I would be seeing if it's music, and I heavily regret that. However, it's been great because I still get to like listen to music, and then in dance, because I dance to Indian classical music. As a Kuchipudi Indian classical dancer, I dance to Indian classical music. And what they do is they use raga, and then every single time we talk about ragas or anything like this, and I'm always so proud because I'm like, yes, I'm raga. So raga actually means a musical tune in Indian classical music. And my sister has been named, she's my younger sister, and she's called Rhythm, so that means lyre. So her name is Lyre, but it means rhythm in English. So we've got like raga and lyre, tune and rhythm. Our full names are Raga Ritika. Raga Ritika means a flowing river to a tune. So raga means tune, and Ritika means a flowing river. And my sister, Laya Geetika, her first name means rhythm, and Geetika means a book. So it's kind of like I'm a flowing river to a tune, and my sister is a rhythmic book. But put together, I feel like my name does mean something relating to dance, because like it's a flowing river to tune, and I flow to dance as well. So kind of comes together at the end, I guess.
And it's all come like full circle with this Eurovision dance performance, hasn't it? Because you were like dressed as like water almost.
Oh my God.
So in tune to your name.
Oh my God.
I know. I
I
mean, that's, it's funny how life does that sometimes. It was amazing talking to you. Thank you so much, Raga.
Have a nice day. Thank you so much for listening to me, and thank you so much for asking me questions.
No worries. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, you too. Bye.
And thanks for sharing your Liverpool Eurovision experience with us as well. Brilliant talking to you
so
tonight.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Enjoy
having
the rest
me.
of the evening.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye. Raga Deva Bhaktuni, 19 years old, a dancer, part of the Movema Liverpool Dance Company, and was telling us what it was like being part of the Eurovision parade earlier on this week and just being there in Liverpool through these last few days. Absolutely superb it must have been, and it certainly sounded like it was, didn't it, from that conversation with Raga? It is a little after 7:30 now. Gagan Gorawal here with you until 8 o'clock on a Sunday on BBC Radio WM and BBC CWR. Quite appropriately, after talking to a dancer, here's a tune called Aaja Nach Le. That translates to Let's Dance. It's from a Bollywood film that's called Aaja Nach Le, and it stars Madhuri Dixit, huge Bollywood film star from the late 80s through the 90s, noughties, and still an amazing star today. It's her birthday tomorrow, so I thought we'd hear a few Madhuri Dixit film tunes. This is one of them.